I'm Colin Sullivan.
And I'm Lindsay Mills.
And this is Almost Live, a weekly show designed to give you the who's who and what's what of Telluride and Mountain Village. On this week's show, we're joined by Catherine Warren for her Warren Commission on the local music and entertainment scene. And then we're going to sit down and have a couple of conversations with a couple of interesting people. First, Art Goodtimes, the local poet and patriarch of the Mushroom Festival, and then Ronnie Palamar of the Sheridan Arts Foundation.
And then we'll take a look at a couple profile pieces of Wagner Custom Skis and the Telluride Fire Festival. And then Patrick Legans, our wine geek food freak, will take it away for a wonderful mango scallop dish.
We're going to go way back in time to 1991 for our retro ride with Guru Terrence McKenna of the Mushroom Festival. Telluride Trails is taking us on the Via Ferrata, and then we have a new episode of Device Advice from the Wilkinson Public Library on loaning out iPads and Kindles.
Then Yoga with Barbara will teach us about Sun Salutation A. But for now, we're going to take it over to Colin and Catherine for this week's Warren Commission.
And here we are with another amazing edition of the Warren Commission. I rhymed there for you.
Great
Catherine
job.
Warren, everybody.
How's it going?
It's going great. I would love to know about some entertainment and music and things,
Yes.
which is still going on. We're
Still
in
happening.
August and it's still getting in there.
It's going to be like this for about another 5 to 6 weeks, I think.
Come on, Catherine, give me a break.
I was just working on the beat sheet for the Watch newspaper, and I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it's still happening.
It's wild, man. Summer's all the way into September now.
Yeah. Even though the kids are getting back to school soon, there's still plenty of fun to be had. So on Friday from 5 to 7 in Reflection Plaza, the Music on the Green series features a great-looking band called Low Moon. They're an indie rock band. Love it when indie is in the descriptor of a band here in Telluride, one of my personal favorite genres of music. That's outside the Hotel Madeline. Go grab a drink, grab a bite to eat, listen to some free music, enjoy yourselves. It's super fun. And then if you are in town in Telluride, we've got Donovan Daly's Speakeasy Jazz Project at the Phoenix Bean, their weekly Friday night installment. I saw these guys in Elks Park during Jazz Fest, and they were so fabulous.
They're very good.
Yeah, like
mean,
I
this
know
is
they're good, but when I saw them, I was like, dang, they're really, like, they're just a tight group, and they're
It's hard. I mean,
great.
some of these people have been doing this stuff for like 30 years.
Yeah.
You know.
So we're really lucky that these musicians have chosen to call Telluride home, and you can go check them out at the Phoenix Bean on Friday. That show is free as well in the back patio. Go grab a bite to eat, drink, or coffee, whatever, pick your poison, and enjoy that show. Later on Friday night, we've got a great artist named Tiffany Christopher playing at the Liberty. She starts about 9 p.m. Her website describes her as pop rock. She's got a great loud, fierce sound, and people should definitely check that out.
She got
Friday
a great
night.
name.
Yeah, love it when it's the first name,
The
last
two first
name
name.
thing.
I know. Yeah.
Saturday night, Kenny Goldman plays jazz piano at the Phoenix Bean, 6:30 again.
Also an amazing local musician,
Yep,
trained jazz pianist.
and he's worked with Telluride Theater. Fabulous musician. And then Saturday's our jazz night, apparently. We've got the Adam Bodine Trio at the Bob Saunders Black Box Theater. It's part of the Palm Arts Jazz Series, and that's at 7:30. And then that's sort of it for music, but be sure to check out the Mushroom Fest. It has begun. Last I heard that passes and tickets were sold out, but there's plenty of great free things to catch. You can go online to their website at TellurideMushroomFest.org. And don't forget the parade on Saturday.
The
4
Mushroom
p.m.
Parade.
The Mushroom Fest parade is so fun.
We're
so
going to be
uniquely
talking
Telluride.
to the patriarch of that
Yes,
parade a
the
little
grand,
later.
what is he called?
Poobah?
Shroompa, though?
Shroompa. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Art Goodtimes.
Yeah, so he can tell us a little bit more about Mushroom Fest, but that's the festival of the week here in Telluride, Colorado.
Yeah, and if you wanted to get in, I'm sure that there's some passes floating around, obviously. You know, aren't they based out of the Palm?
They actually are moving into the Sheridan Opera House.
The Opera House, okay.
That's their headquarters.
Great,
this
so
year.
they have headquarters there, and and then also if you go on Telluride Real Deals or Sweet Deals, I'm sure there's some tickets floating around. Catherine, thank you so much for being here once
Thanks
again.
for having me.
And if I wanted to know a little bit more about some of these local bands, maybe that indie rock band or something like that, or what is it, Tiffany Christopher?
Yes.
Yeah, the two first names, Pop Lady. I might go to...
You might pick up a copy of the Telluride Watch newspaper out every Thursday, where the Warren Commission is in the print version. My weekly music column.
Yeah, there you go. So thanks a lot, Catherine, for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Let's head over now to the Wine Geek Food Freak for a lovely mango scallops dish. And then after that, let's go forward into the future for this December's Telluride Fire Festival.
Hi, I'm Patrick Legans, the Wine Geek Food Freak. Today, I went to my local market, found some beautiful mangoes. I also went over to the fish department in our local Clark's Market and found some beautiful scallops. So today we're going to get to learn how to sear scallops properly, as well as make a delicious mint fruit sauce. So far, I've taken one mango, I've cut it up, I've placed it in about 2 cups of water with 1 cup of sugar, and I've just reduced it for about 15 minutes. Now, I'm going to take it, put it in my Vitamix. I like to pulse it, just to see that it's okay. Now we're good to go. So now I'm gonna just do this for about 15, 20 seconds. All right, now we're gonna start the scallops. If you ever see the Shell Oil Company logo, that's what a scallop shell looks like. And they have these little feet on them. That's the part that comes out and pushes them around in the water. You don't want to eat those, so always make sure that you peel those off. I like to put them on a piece of paper towel. A lot of times they'll throw a lot of liquid out. And if you put liquid in your oil, when you try to sear them, you're never going to get that little crisp edge that you're looking for. I'm going to take some extra virgin olive oil, put that in there. We'll let it get nice and hot. So I'm going to take my scallops, put them in there. You don't want to throw salt or anything else in here at this point in time. If you do that, you're going to leach a lot of liquid out. And again, you're not going to get, you're going to cook them, but you're not going to get a nice little crust on them. Okay, now it's been about 2 minutes. I'm going to turn the scallops. Look at those. Oh, Lord, that looks good. That's exactly what you want those to look like. Okay, now it's been about another minute, 45 seconds, 2 minutes. On the other side, let's check them out. Oh, Lord. That's perfect again. So now I'm going to take them out. I like to transfer them onto a little paper towel. Yep, perfect. So I have my scallops on my paper towel. I'm going to start the saucepan. So I have a pan here. I'm going to take a little bit of butter right there in the pan and just blonde that butter. Just make it blonde. Next step after blonde is brown. Now I'm going to take my mangoes. I'm going to pour them right into my sauce. I'm going to stir that up just for a second here. Looking beautiful. Already nice and getting the perfect consistency right off the bat. I always use white pepper. It's subtle. It doesn't change the color of the dish. Also, I like to just dredge mint through my sauces so it picks up that mint flavor. But again, I want this to be this beautiful mango color. I don't want green. Now, I'm gonna place it right here, right in the center of that plate. Look at that. Woo-hoo-hoo. I'm gonna take my beautiful scallops. I'll place those babies right there on top. And you can tell right there, medium rare for sure. I'll take my remainder mint. I'll just do a little quick kind of chiffonade, and then I'll sprinkle the babies right on top. And there you have it. Seared scallops in a mango mint sauce. Enjoy. Until next time, remember, all you need is good ingredients, some care, and a minute of your time, and you can eat like me, Patrick Legans, the Wine Geek Food Freak.
Hi, my name is Erin, and I'm the Executive Director and co-founder for the nonprofit Arts and Educational Telluride Fire Festival. Our organization has brought fire arts center stage for 3 years, and nobody has ever died. We produce an annual 3-day event in January that safely entertains and educates this new and unique art form. The family-friendly event gives adults and children an opportunity to interact with larger-than-life fire sculptures and watch mesmerizing fire dancers. The festival provides artists a platform to showcase their art and people an opportunity to learn during our workshops. Not only are we unique in our focus on fire art, we have offered 3 nights of fire art and performance free to the community and visitors to maximize the exposure and accessibility to all since 2015. Our driving purpose is to educate, from mastering life skills to learning welding, glass blowing, or fire spinning, we are more than an artistic platform. Every year we offer workshops for youth and adults. One of our workshops for at-risk and underprivileged youth resulted in a fire art creation that was showcased at the event and now tours the state. Giving access to these regional youth and having them interact with peers from other counties gives them a unique and positive opportunity for growth. We are fundraising to help pay for the student scholarship workshops and pay fire artists to display their art. Join us for this exciting festival, and please consider a donation of time or money in support of the Telluride Fire Festival.
All right, and we're back, and here we are with Ronnie Palamar from the Sheridan Arts Foundation. Ronnie, thanks for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me, Colin.
Yeah, listen, everybody who sits on this couch, I always start off with the first question, which is the most important, which is, how did you get here?
Boy, let's see. I've been here quite a bit, a long time. I came here with my husband, who worked for the Bank of Telluride.
Okay.
He started in 1990, I believe, and I followed him out here shortly after with my 3 children, and we just started our life here in Telluride. And at that point in time, we said we'd probably give it a 3 or 4 year go, and we're still here.
And you guys 105 years later, because it's the 105th summer for the Sheridan
For the Sheridan
Opera
Arts
House.
Foundation. I've been with the Sheridan Arts Foundation it'll be 24 years this
That's
coming
wild.
up. I know, it's amazing.
You guys are purveyors. You and Steve, your husband,
my husband.
you and Steve, and pretty much your whole family now
Yes.
are in the biz, as they would say in Telluride.
We're running in the show biz.
You're in the show biz. You're running the old opera house, which 105 years ago was pretty much this, right?
Right.
So when the Sigerbergs, right?
The Sigerberg family that built the Opera House, 1913.
Yeah, and you guys actually, I guess I want to start off with this because you guys do a ton of stuff, and I want to talk about that. But talk to me about the building itself and about like the stuff that you guys have done, because it's changed even in the decade that I've been here. It's changed tremendously.
I think people or the community doesn't realize how much we do to preserve the building. It's was pretty beat up when the Carradines took it over in 1991, and since I started in 1995, we've slowly started the renovation process, and we've gone through 3 full phases, and we're still working on it. I mean, even this fall, we're having to reinforce the bottom truss in the theater that holds the balcony. We reinforce the roof. We replace the roof, reinforce the top trusses, and now we're working on that. And that's 5 weeks of construction, and it's a grand old lady, as they say, to restore, and we've been doing it for a long time.
Well, it's really wild. Like people don't know that. Like
they don't really know.
That stenciling is all historic,
Yes.
right? That's in the theater, but that wasn't here when I got here originally. And you guys had to take old pictures and get that stenciling redone from like a couple of little swaths.
Yeah,
and
we
pictures,
wanted
right?
to. The ceiling needed to be redone at the time, so we removed all the plaster and we discovered some of the original stenciling so
Amazing.
we could replicate it, and we did a lot of research on that, and so we're really proud of that. And we left one little foot area of the original stenciling, so if anybody ever comes into the Opera House, and people might not know that because it's kind of in the corner, you can see exactly what
That's
the
like the
original
Blarney Stone. You go there and you go upside down, you kiss it, you get good luck.
It's a special building, and we've we're really proud to be where we're at right now, especially since we redid the first floor room and turned it into a bar, a
so
usable space.
Not historic exactly.
No,
but
it wasn't.
But you turned the what was like a rehearsal room and things like that downstairs into the bar.
Right. Yeah, and it's been wonderful. It just adds more to the building for renters when they rent the whole building for weddings and private parties, and when the community comes in to use the space.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to say also, like, having a space like this in Telluride for years, like we didn't have the Palm and we didn't have the Black Box and we didn't have all of these other sort of spaces. So like theater companies like ours, you guys have worked with us over the years to be able to provide that kind of thing. I mean, it's amazing to be up on that stage, but also just that whole building, like the bar space. Now we do all of our little things and occasionally like the down lows and other things. Barrett.
It's a great asset to the community, I feel, and we're really proud of it.
Yeah. So speaking of it, you do programming-wise, you guys are pretty boring, right? You don't really do anything.
Well, let's put
You're
it
doing
this way.
constant stuff all year round. I have no idea.
Well, we encourage private rentals.
Yes.
And we encourage all the nonprofit rentals, And when that's pretty much said and done, and then we fill the gap. We fill all the weekends and the dates when we're
Wild
not.
West Fest. You do plein air. You do the 20th anniversary of the Young People's Theater.
Young People's Theater for 20 years now, and our enrollment ends August 31st, and we still have a few spaces. We have a high school musical coming up, Mamma Mia, which is my favorite, and some of the, I think the little kindergartners, our class are filled, but other than that, we still have some room, and I would recommend everybody to sign up that's interested. Because
Leah Nicola.
Yeah, Leah Nicola is fabulous. She's our Young People's Theater director.
Yes,
and she has done a wonderful job these past couple years, with the Young People's Theater.
You have one of our Telluride TV employees as well as one of yours, Catherine Warren, who does her
our
Warren
PR.
commission.
She does, and she does director of PR and marketing, and we have a fabulous staff. Catherine's been with us for like 7 years now, and we have Maggie and we have Josh. And and Josh is fabulous. And
Josh has the glorious.
He's a production manager, so he greets everybody when they first come into the building. And the funny thing is we have a behind the scenes. We all worked really hard as a team to produce all of our special events as well as the music. And then people will come up and go, "Thanks, Josh, for bringing us."
And Josh also has the production manager. What people don't know is that those seats. How old are those seats? Those theater seats?
Well, our seats is another story here. Our seats have been there since the early 70s, and we reupholstered the seats and put new cushions on them. But they're in disrepair.
The groups of seats weigh like 300 or 400 pounds.
Oh, they're really heavy.
They are all in the basement. Which has no elevator.
Well, no, and they have to carry them 2 to 3 seats at a time. They have to take them apart and carry them down, and then they're still drilled.
This is inside baseball, folks. This has literally happened for the entire decade I was here, and probably the decade before.
They have to be drilled into little inserts into the 1913 original maple floor, so it's a little complicated process of taking our seats in and out. But it seems like right now, more people want the seats out so they can have the parties and the dancing.
Better for
so
Josh.
It's a little bit popular.
Josh is in a better mood these days.
And we are going to replace our seats one day soon. We need to figure that out when we can start that campaign, but we really need to replace them with
I just want to talk
theater seats.
A little bit about just about the live music too, because you have the Sheridan Arts Foundation, which is the nonprofit sort of arm, which does all of these different programs and things. But then you also have the Sheridan Opera House, which are running actually a live music venue.
Right.
And so I have my favorite concerts and things like that. But if you're going in the back, or you ever get to tour the green room and things, you'll see all these posters. Everybody's played there, right?
Between all the festivals that Telluride hosts and the music we book, we've had some wonderful, talented artists grace our stage, and we still do. And it's a challenge trying to get people to come to Telluride and play art the size of our venue. But we have a great reputation, and artists, sometimes will just pick up the phone. The managers will call and say, "Hey, Victor Wilton really wants to come back to Telluride and play your stage," or Judy Collins loves your theater and she's going to come back. And I think the challenge is trying to provide the music for all ages.
Well, I think actually you guys do a really good job with that, because you, especially recently within the last 2 or 3 years, you're bringing all these different levels. That means also pricing levels too.
Right, exactly.
So. So we've talked a ton about everything. So I just want to say thank you so much for being here. But I want to also say, where would we go if we wanted tickets or we wanted to find out about all of this?
Well, you go to SheridanOperaHouse.com. We have our own ticketing system. We have a wonderful calendar of events that you can check out. So please go online and check. There's always something going on at the Opera House, and so please check us out and please support us. And thank you for the community and their continued support of the Sheridan Opera House.
Ronnie,
it really means a lot to us.
We wouldn't have it any other way.
Well, thanks, Colin.
Get that balcony reinforced.
Yeah, we will.
Thanks a lot for being here. All right. Well, even though we're in the heat of the summer right now, we're looking forward to a really big winter with a lot of powder. So let's go over and check out a little piece from Wagner Custom Skis.
We help people ski their best by making sure they're on their perfect fit equipment. So every single ski is optimized for the individual, and The benefit is performance. If you're on a ski that fits you properly, it improves your balance, comfort, control. You ski with better power and efficiency. It really just makes skiing easier and more fun. So in early 2017, we opened up a new factory just steps away from the chairlifts in the mountain village. You can walk by and actually see us building the skis from the outside. So the first step of our process is to go through our fitting system. It starts at wagnerskis.com. Then you have an interview with the ski designer. Once you work with a ski designer, we figure out what is your perfect geometry, you choose the graphics. At that point, your skis will go into our production process. The first things that we do are we mill the wood cores of the skis and the sidewall sticks. Then we'll cut the base material and pull whatever kind of structural layers are in the ski. Then we'll bend the steel edges. We take all of the different components of the ski, wet them out with an epoxy resin system, and then we put them into a heated press. They'll cook into our press for about 30 minutes, and we pull them out. At that point, we'll have a block, and then it turns into how do we extract a beautiful pair of skis out of this block? So we cut the skis out with a bandsaw by hand. We'll grind the base, bevel the base and sidewall edges, then we wax the skis, check the tune, make sure everything's set up properly, put bindings on them, and then we ship them out, or people can come in and pick them up in person. We think it's a smarter way to buy skis because you work with an expert ski designer, we'll figure out what your perfect equipment is, we build that product, and then fully guarantee it. At Wagner Custom Skis, we strive to make your mountain dreams through perfect fitting equipment.
That was a great piece from Wagner Custom Skis, which is now located here in Mountain Village. Telluride TV loves being involved in the community, whether that's with local businesses, organizations, schools, or the government.
And speaking of community, Telluride TV is a public access channel that depends on public support. So we want to thank a few of our most generous supporters, the towns of Telluride and Mountain Village, the Telluride Foundation, and the Telluride Ski and Golf Company.
We have a few segments to check out next, including a brand new device advice, talking about loaning iPads and Kindles from the Wilkinson Public Library, and then we'll check out a Telluride Trails segment with the Via Ferrata.
Hello, my name is Hank,
And I'm Gloria.
and you're watching Device Advice, brought to you by Wilkinson Public Library.
Today we're going to talk to you about 2 devices you can borrow for free with your library card. Hank will talk to you about iPads, and I will talk to you about Kindle.
I'll take it away. Do you know what this is? If not, then you must live under a rock, and you probably don't need one. For the rest of the world, this is an iPad, which we offer to borrow for 3 weeks for free at the library. Comes loaded with all kinds of cool apps, including Libby, which we talked about on a past episode of Device Advice. Again, they rent out for 3 weeks, and if you're worried about your security, don't worry, because we wipe them clean of all your personal information after you return them.
The next device I'm going to talk to you about is a Kindle. You can borrow this Kindle here for up to 3 weeks with your library card. It has an impressive shelf already on it. If you can't find what you're looking for, don't you worry. The library has got your back. You can buy up to 2 books on the library's dime.
What if I have my own Amazon account?
No, don't use it. Stay logged into the library's account. It's already registered on the Kindle.
Come by Wilkinson Public Library and check out these devices and more.
Thank you for watching us. Hi, I'm Heidi,
And I'm Todd.
and this
is Telluride Trails.
Today we're going to go up on the Via Ferrata. Telluride's Via Ferrata traverses approximately 1.5 miles, and Via Ferrata is Italian for Iron Way.
If you drive and start at the beginning of the route, the entire route will take about 2.5 to 3 hours to traverse. At minimum, it's important that everybody wear a helmet. There's a significant rockfall hazard. Helmet will help mitigate that risk. It's important to have a harness and a load limiting lanyard, something that will disperse the force of a fall onto the cables. Perhaps the most important piece of equipment to have in the Via Ferrata is the right choice of footwear. You want to have good traction because the edge of the cliff band could well be a foot or two off to your side.
We recommend traversing the route from east to west, and when you do it in that manner, you'll start out on a pretty good trail, and you'll walk along for a while, and then you'll reach the first cables on the route, and that's where it's really important to have the right gear. And as you keep traversing from east to west, you start to encounter iron rungs, and it gets a little bit more intricate.
What we're doing now is we're overriding the amygdala. It's that little most ancient part of our reptilian brain that's in charge of fight or flight. And it's freaking out. It's saying, what? So one of the things the amygdala wants us to do is to like grab onto the earth and lean away from scary things. When we lean away from the edge here, we could cause our feet to slide out. So we're always best to stand upright. That's what a hand to the right can kind of keep you upright, keep your weight over your feet, improve your traction.
About a half mile into the route, you encounter the main event, which is really cool. It's a little bit scary, but awesome.
And the main event is about 100 feet long. It's a traverse. As soon as you turn the corner and step out to the first rung, you have about 300 feet of air under your heels. It's super exciting. It's a wild, unnatural place for humans to be. And thanks to the Via Ferrata, we can get up there and have our minds blown.
That's so cool. Yeah, it definitely takes your breath away.
At the end of the route, we descend a 3/4 mile trail that comes down along the Marshall Creek drainage. Now, it's really important to stay on the trail because the land surrounding it is all privately owned.
Todd, thank you so much for taking us on the Via Ferrata. It was an incredible experience, a really unique thing.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to come join us, and thanks for all you and the Telluride Mountain Club does for trail sustainability throughout the Telluride region.
Absolutely. Well, I'm Heidi.
And I'm Todd.
And we'll
see you on the trails.
Hope you enjoyed hanging out on the Via Ferrata with the Telluride Mountain Club. Now I am here with Art Goodtimes, ex-county commissioner, poet, patriarch of the Telluride Mushroom Festival, which is this weekend.
That's right. We're excited.
So first, we love to talk about how you got here, how you got your start in Telluride.
Telluride. Yeah, you know, it was funny. I was a hippie, so I traveled across the country a couple times from San Francisco. I mean, I came to San Francisco as a little baby. I was born there, and then went into a seminary, studied to be a Roman Catholic priest for 7 years, took Latin and Greek, and got into mycology, was a part of the San Francisco Mycological Society. And as a hippie, I traveled back and forth, and Telluride was one of the stops on the way. This was a great place. I remember the marshal at the time was playing drums, and it was a bar owned by a couple characters here, and they were smoking dope on the street. I'm like, whoa! And the marshal's playing drums in your band? I like this place. So, I came back and hung out and was lucky that Telluride, if the mountains like you, they hold you. I had a house burned down, so they hold you and they kind of hit you a little bit. And then if you stay, then this is a really special place. So lucky for me, I got a phone call from Manny Salzman saying I got a job right away as the director of the Telluride Council on the Arts and Humanities because I was a poet from San Francisco. So they trusted me, and I got this job, and suddenly I'm in all the marketing. I'm going to all these meetings. People are saying I got interviewed by Grilled in Telluride, Jerry Green, and when he introduced himself, he shook hands left-handed. He was like, "Who is this dude?"
I love it. So what year did you actually officially move?
So it was in 1980, in the fall that I came here. And so I was looking through the old papers the other day, and Pandora's Box, the column I'm writing now for the Watch, they only let me do it every 2 weeks, but I was doing it weekly then. It was January 1st, 1981. Wow. So I've been here since 81. I've been doing this column in Telluride. So I'm an old kind of scan of this place.
Yeah.
I remember coming here when they were doing the first picnic to sort of do the groundbreaking on the mountain village. I was thinking about that as I was doing the gondola,
Yeah, that's amazing. That's fantastic. So you've seen Telluride from kind of roots up.
Well,
at that point.
Yeah, at that point. I came just as the ski area started to develop. It was it was when the tourism economic picture kind of took off.
Brilliant. So then what got you involved in the Mushroom Festival?
Well, like I say, I was at this desk as the Arts Council director, and I got this phone call from this Dr. Emanuel Salzman,
we've been doing a mushroom conference in Aspen, but we want to know if there anybody in Telluride could help us put it on here. And I was like, so it was perfect. I didn't think, most of the town was mycophobic. Nobody really wanted to go out hunting mushrooms. Bill Hamner, Poppy, we used to call him, was one of the few in the Gertz family. They knew where some of the good spots were, but most people were afraid of mushrooms here, so nobody went out picking them. And so when they came, I was able to help them set up. And the second year, actually, I wasn't here. I was off on a tour, herbal tour with my partner at the time, with Rosemary Gladstar. We were looking at herb farms and situations all around the Northwest. And I guess it didn't go so well. So the third year, when I came back and I was really having a hard time finding a job, my house had burnt down. I'd quit my job. It was really a mess. The sting of the mountains caught me. When I came back, they said, well, will you come and help us with the Mushroom Festival? I said, well, I'm not the Arts Council director anymore. I don't have any clout in the town. They said, no, come help us. And so I started being the person who was on site, doing all of the regulatory and setup and operations.
Brilliant. So were you a mushroom hunter prior to, or?
Yeah, when I was in San Francisco, I had joined the San Francisco Mycological Society. And so I'd been a part of that, going out hunting mushrooms, and I studied them a little bit. I'd gone out with some friends. I'd seen one once. I was like, what the heck is that? Sitting on a bank of a creek up in the Santa Cruz Mountains, this bright red was hygrophorus, this giant mushroom on this with the sunlight shining on it. And I used to go hiking up the creeks. I'd go barefoot, go running up creeks. It was kind of one of the things I liked to do in California when I was younger. And there was this incredible mushroom. And then I started going out with a friend picking oyster mushrooms, which grow on the trees and are delicious edibles. Mm-hmm. And so we got to a special spot of hers, and pretty soon I was totally hooked. So when Manny called, I was like, oh yeah, I'll be the one to help you.
Right. Absolutely fitting. So then the Mushroom Festival evolved and has grown into what it is today. What are you most excited for this weekend as far as programming goes?
Well, yeah, it's it started out as Wild Mushrooms Telluride was a conference. It was actually a medical conference. Dr. Emmanuel Salzman just died, Manny. He founded the conference and really was the guiding spirit behind it, kept it going for 25 years, and then he just passed away. He was riding his bicycle in Denver, in Lodo, at 99. It was only this spring that they finally stopped him from riding his bicycle.
That's amazing.
And he was hit a couple times by buses. Amazing man.
Yeah.
Grew beautiful little cactus up on his roof, psychedelic cactus.
Psychedelic cactus. Tell us more about that.
So I grow, I have a psychedelic cactus that I grow. It's a really wonderful San Pedro's. And I got a little one like this, and now I have a room full of them. Mm-hmm. And I don't take them because theogenic experiences are really intense. This is like a religious experience. If you want to do it, or if you do it under medical conditions for certain treatments, that's great. But as people talk about recreation, well, maybe recreation, but not recreation, because, boy, those are heavy-duty things. But I love to see them grow. They're beautiful. They grow fast, and they have tiny, tiny little needles. And they bloom once a year.
Wow. That's amazing. So one of the most interesting things that I've been reading about is the effects of psilocybin on mental health.
Yeah.
And that's one of the biggest kind of discoveries of the summer for a lot of science in mental health.
Exactly.
So, resetting depression, treating anxiety, so on and so forth. What part of the festival really covers that portion?
Well, that was always Manny's
that was his realm
issue. He was a physical doctor, radiation at Beth Israel Hospital. He started these conferences with Beth Israel trying to get medical stuff, but people didn't want to talk about the psychedelic. They didn't want to talk about, the psychedelic as, or we call it entheogenic now. But they didn't want to talk about those substances as medicine.
Right.
And that was Manny's big thing. He always carried a sign, almost always, in the parade that said, psilocybin is RX. Because he always felt medicine was important. So I think the one thing that the Telluride Mushroom Festival has had going for it for 38 years now is that it's one of the only conferences in the country where people could talk about entheogens of all kinds, not just mushrooms, and do it legally and not get into sort of a big hassle with the establishment. Nobody ever came and busted us. Nobody ever came and tried to close it down. So for 30 some years, we've had some of the major people in the world of entheogenic research, Sasha Shulgin, Terence McKenna, Jason Ott, all these incredible people. We've had Nobel Prize winners. We've had incredible speakers. And I'm always amazed that people at Telluride don't even know what's happening. It's so funny because we've had major discussions mostly about the place and purpose of entheogens in a society. So I think the medical one, and I'm really hoping, it sounds like Michael Pollan is coming next year to the Mushroom Festival, which would be so exciting because we are all pleased to see them go from law enforcement to science, prohibition to actual understanding of what this thing is or isn't. We still need more studies, and there are some being done. But it seems pretty clear, and Michael shows it really well in his new book, it's a way to change your way of thinking. So it's like one of these things that maybe in your 20s or 30s it would be a really good idea. They used to do coming-of-age ceremonies, most societies. But I think now we're such individuals. We're from a Protestant background. We believe in ourselves and we understand ourselves. We want to learn ourselves. So I think if we gave kids under sort of a medical, but I think more a psychological kind of approach, we could actually make opportunities for therapeutic use, not just for medicine, but also for visioning. But again, I think if we do it in this crazy, everybody does whatever way, it can be very dangerous.
Absolutely. Well, you brought up Terence McKenna, who is a mushroom guru of the past, and we actually have a retro ride flashback to one of his presentations in 1991. Thank you so much, Art. Let's check that one out.
Well, since this is the 10th anniversary of the Telluride Mushroom Conference, it's a wonderful excuse to look backward and look forward at the history of mushroom consciousness and the short and long perspective. And I think it's important because if you look around, you'll notice that we cannot be told from the general public. We dress like them to some degree. And we cut our hair like them to some degree. So it's only events like this that draw us out of the woodwork, out of the woods, as it were, so we can see who our affinity group is. And I think the essence of the hallucinogenic mushroom experience and what it is a searchlight upon is the issue of community. And this is, to some degree and in a different tone, what I talked about last night, that it's my supposition that humanness, caring, attention to the fates of others, ability to transfer loyalty, ability to plan, that all of these things which make us less than angels but more than animals were somehow tied up with our relationship to hallucinogenic plants, especially mushrooms, in prehistory. And last night I talked about it in a sort of nuts and bolts manner, the way you would if you were trying to convince an Evolution 101 course that psilocybin could have an impact on primate evolution. But I think because of who this audience is, because of the fact that so many people in this room at this moment have been on the inside of the experience, that we can talk about it in a slightly less rational and more emotive way. And so that's what I'd like to try and do. And what I mean by that is, the strange thing to my mind about psilocybin is that it speaks. The mushroom has this peculiar ability to present itself as a voice in the mind. And as somebody who has tried a lot of these psychopharmacological agents, they all do many different things, but this is unique. It's not ordinarily the characteristic of a chemical compound that it can hold a conversation with you. And yet this is, I think, the generalized experience of people who push very hard, or even slightly hard, on the mushroom. Well, when you look back into the history of Western thought, you discover that, exotic as this notion is, it isn't completely unfamiliar in the Western tradition. That up until the advent of Christianity and in the intense religious foment of the immediate centuries preceding the triumph of Christianity, there was this generalized notion in the West of what was called the Logos. And the Logos was a teaching voice, an inner prompting, a speaking thing. And the goal of religious life and even sport and exercise, the goal of the whole and well-lived life was to come into connection with this thing called the Logos.
Hello and welcome to this mini yoga series in beautiful Telluride, Colorado. My name is Barbara Glansnick, and today we will be looking at Surya Namaskar A, or Sun Salutations A. This mini series is really designed to provide you with some easy stretches that you can do throughout the day, especially when you don't have a lot of time. As always, please focus on the breath. So throughout every practice, we're going to try and inhale and exhale through the nose only. And I also want you to really move with care. So honor where you are today and acknowledge and listen to your body. All right, let's get cracking. So come to the front of the mat into Samastitihi, equal standing posture. Big toes touch, legs are strong, do a little shoulder roll. Gaze towards the front of the tip of the nose. On your next inhale, reach your arms up, palms touch. Exhale, fold forward, place your hands on either side of your feet. Always bend the knees if you have to. Inhale, look up to lengthen. On your next exhale, I want you to bunny hop your way back into a high plank. Exhale, just bend the elbows and hover. Inhale, roll over your toes, reach your heart forward. Gently raise the head, look towards your nose. Exhale, again, roll over your toes and reach your seat towards the sky. 5 breaths here. Spread your toes and fingers, distribute the weight evenly. 1, 2, deep breaths. 3, 4, and 5. Bend your knees at the end of the exhale. Look forward with your inhalation. Bunny hop forward. Come to lengthen and look up. Exhale, bow. Inhale, raise up towards the ceiling. Palms touch, look up. Exhale, back to 0, Samastitihi. You can repeat Surya Namaskara A about 5 times. And then just sit down, take a couple of breaths. Feel the sit bones grounding on the earth. Thank you so very much for practicing. Namaste.
We hope you've mastered your Sun Salutation A with Yoga with Barbara. If you're looking for longer pieces to practice at home, go ahead and check us out on YouTube. It'll be youtube.com/Telluride TV.
Well, Almost Live is almost over. But never fear. If you missed any part of the show, you can check us out on morning, noon, and night on Telluride's cable channel 12.
Or you can tune in on Facebook or YouTube at Telluride TV.
See you next time.
See ya.